cute. Okay, welcome.
Hi.
Hi, I'm so excited you're here.
Same.
Yeah, let's start with you just introducing yourself.
Well, hi guys. I'm Brandy Lux. I'm mostly now a Playboy creator, but I started doing OnlyFans for sure.
Yay, we love that. This podcast started as a Playboy partner, so we love bringing back Playboy girls.
Woo-hoo.
And keeps it OG style.
Yeah. So now I've just been so focused on Playboy. Of course, like any first content creator, you usually just start on OnlyFans because that's like all you know.
Yeah.
And I actually, one of my really good friends, Jamie Luna, does Playboy, and she was like, you know what, you would do so much better with Playboy. Like, how about you just give it a try? And I was like, okay. And I just feel like it's like a lot more organic.
Yeah,
than OnlyFans.
definitely.
Just your followers, subscribers. I feel like OnlyFans, you have to have a following on Instagram to gain those followers on OnlyFans, or with Twitter.
True. Yeah.
Because I feel like Twitter is just very rated R. That whatever you post there, it's just like boom, right?
Definitely.
But yeah, so now, I mean, you can see a lot of my newer content on Playboy for sure.
Ooh,
yeah.
So do you like working Playboy better than OnlyFans?
Yes. Well, I like the content that I can throw on OnlyFans when I do like boy girl or girl content, but Playboy is just me, so it's a lot easier in that aspect because like I don't have to like, hey, are you available? Or like, hey, like, you know, if I do get like certain requests, then I am like, okay, I need someone for this. But mostly it's a lot easier when it's just me.
Yeah, definitely.
My time, I'm like, okay, I'm going live right now.
Yeah, you can just knock out your work when you want to work.
Yeah.
And you don't need
doing my makeup. Literally, doing my makeup has been like the latest thing.
Okay.
Going live, and then whenever when I do lives, I do let them play with me. So I'll have on my tip menu of like dildo blowjob, or you know, vibrator. So you'll be like doing your makeup and then be like, here's my dildo. Yeah, I'll be like, or I have like the spin the wheel, and then they can like pay for spin the wheel, and whatever they land, I just do it. So usually I'll be like, come distract me, you know, or something.
Oh, cute.
You know.
Okay.
So I did like a Lego set, and I didn't like that because I really wanted to like focus on my Lego, and I was like, I can't be like, hi guys.
I love that. Oh my god, amazing.
So I was like, okay, maybe my Lego set is another thing. I know that some people like do paint and stuff, but I'm like, I'm either like concentrating on one thing, or I'm like doing both. And I was just like, maybe I'm just, let me just do my own thing, and then I'll be ready, and you know. And a lot of people, I see the engagement too, that when you're getting ready, they're like, oh, what are you gonna wear? What, like, you know? And I'm like, well, if you want to pick my outfit for this amount of money, you know, like you can pick it, you know?
So cute.
So it's fun.
So, okay, when you're getting ready, are you actually getting ready for something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I of course have to plan it.
I was like, you must have to have enough time.
Yeah. So if I'm rushing, I try to like cut my lives like 30 minutes.
Okay.
And I do not show what I'm wearing. You know, like it's just my makeup. I'm done with my makeup. Peace out. I'll see you guys later.
Makes sense.
But if I do have the time, then it's a full on like, get ready with me.
Doing the whole thing.
Yeah. Which is funny because like, I mean, it's mostly it's men viewing this. And to see that they're like really interested of like,
I've learned they're actually way more into it than you would think. Yeah, like they like it.
Dress me. Yeah, dress me.
Barbie doll style.
Yeah, it's fun. So I've been liking it a lot.
I love it. How long have you been on each platform?
Well, OnlyFans, I've been on there for a couple years now, but like on and off.
Okay.
So I don't know how deep we want to get into it, but long story short, I used to date this guy I dated him prior to COVID, but during COVID, he got into like photography. And the girls that are mostly like into like implied and nude photography are like OnlyFans models. So I would, you know, that's how I got to know a lot of those type of girls, and they would all tell me like, you should do it. You were just so great. You're so beautiful. Blah blah blah. And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. Like,
oh my god.
I just, you know, I have family. Like they're, you know, kind of religious. They want me to go to school, and like, you know, that I was just like, how would I get away with it? You know? And then I was like, all right, F it. I'll try it. I'll give it a try. And he would help me when it came to like photography, but it was just me trying to like push the content, you know, like commenting back or replying messages and all that stuff. So then we broke up, and I just kind of basically was like, okay, chapter closed to that, like done deal, right? I was just like, I didn't make money. It was like maybe like $60, but at the same time, I wasn't pushing it. Like it wasn't consistency. And then time passed, and then I met a new guy. That, again, photographer involved in the industry, and he kind of like not pushed me, but was like, dude, like we can totally like make you grow and make it like a lot better. So then that's when I kind of like started all over again. And now it's a lot more consistent, and now it's
now
the
it's
job.
like your,
Now it's the job.
Oh my gosh. And is it your only job, or do you have other jobs, or is this like, even if like, is this just the career and then maybe other side jobs?
It was okay. So I used to be a bartender, and it was a like bartending with this.
I see.
And now it's just this. For now. Yeah.
Congrats.
But we'll see. I don't know if I will be in the industry for like for forever. I want to guide it into like maybe different types of projects. But yeah, I think Brandy will stay for a while. Until maybe, I don't know, something better comes along. But it's fun. I have fun. I love meeting the people in the industry. I just think that we all have a very equal mindset. Not the more like this is how it's supposed to be, you know, and
very open-minded.
You know, it's a lot very open-minded, but if I'm interested in this, they're just like, oh, I've done it, and they can like guide you like, oh yes, this could work, and this could work, and I was just like, okay,
The interesting thing I've learned about OnlyFans, which I think the one thing that's hard when you're a new OnlyFans creator, is if you don't know this, it can either make or break you as a person. The OnlyFans community or support group or coworkers that you have really impact you a lot. So like finding the right group of people that respect your boundaries and can teach you things and like have similar content and help you grow is really, really important. And it is like such a fine line because, you know, it's a very intimate thing.
Well, not only that, but when I was being a bartender, I only told a few selected people that I was a content creator because they looked at me like a slut, an easy person, or this and that. And I'm like, actually, no. I have a designated person that I do most of my things with, but no, it's just easier money. But no, like, as you see me, I come here and work every single day behind the bar. I'm still a human. This is just a side work, you know? But,
oh my God, When I started OnlyFans, I think I started like literally 2 or 3 weeks before quarantine happened. And so it was kind of a godsend because my career is literally based on groups of people gathering. So it was like kind of perfect timing. And it was kind of great. But then I got into a community, and in some ways it was a blessing because hanging out with them, my social media blew up. Like I started making all this money, and it did open a lot of like doors. It opened up, I ended up with a whole modeling career because of it. Just from doing the shoots, I realized like, oh, I'm good at modeling.
It's more like, networking and
it's huge, and it's a huge community. But with that group, I learned, it did become very toxic. And I felt I was exploring my boundaries. I didn't know what my boundaries were, which I'm a big advocate of, like, you have to figure out what you want sexually. You don't know, you're not born knowing, and you have to figure it out. The difficulty I had was that because my boundaries weren't respected, I had videos that were released that I never agreed to being released, and things that just didn't like resonate well, where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe that got out there. So I had the same thing where it's like, I started getting called like a slut, a hoe, a whore, all these things.
You're like, wait a second.
I was like, whoa, oh my God. And I was fresh out of a divorce at the time. So I was just like bombarded. And I was like, guys, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I'm thankful enough that, anytime I go to like group shoots, or anytime like I'm making content with someone, I have a manager with me at all times.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Just because, one, I'm protected, I'm being protected, and two, if I have any question of anything, I just like turn around. I'm like, hey, like, it's just like,
that's so nice.
And it's just another like nice reassurance of like, okay, yeah, you're good, you know, or like, yeah, maybe not, because now it's not just me of what I'm thinking. Now it's like another person's view too, of like, and I trust this human being like 100%, like,
that's
so
nice.
I'm just like, okay, if they feel a certain way and uncomfortable, then I am right. Maybe I shouldn't. So
that's
so
so
it's nice.
true.
Yeah. So there was a photographer that I went and shot with, and I thought that he felt uncomfortable that I brought him.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, what do you expect? Like, I've never shot with you before. But I'm like, I don't care. If I can't bring a +1, I will not be showing up.
Yeah. I mean, it's so true. Yeah, because if a photographer is not comfortable with you bringing another person, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
And I think too, like, sometimes you don't always know if they're like a real photographer, or what they're in, even if they're like a huge account and like that they're big, like you don't know who they are as a person.
You're trying
all the
to be
time.
careful, especially knowing that they know that you do this type of content. I just don't want them to like think that they can get a easy way in.
Definitely.
You never know.
It's true. Well, and I think that's a huge misconception people have about like OF girls is that like they're just easy, or like that you can just get them to do whatever you want. But like, we all, as human beings, we all have boundaries. We all have things where we will say, I don't want that to happen. You could be like the most loose person in the world, but that doesn't mean that you are going to want to have sex with everybody or something. And it's just this huge misconception. And I think OF girls have such a variety of what they are and aren't okay with. So it's hard to box that in a little box. So, and now you were saying too that you come from a religious background.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I went to Catholic school every Saturday. So Monday through Friday was like normal school, and then every Saturday was Catholic school, and then Sundays we would go to church.
Okay. Crazy.
So, from both sides of my family, like mom and dad's side.
Okay. So really
there's been times where I've joked, even like with my brother, of like, oh, I'm gonna like, just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna be a OF like model and make content, and he'd be like, I hope I never see you, blah 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 blah. Like,
oh my gosh.
like he's like,
So does your family know?
Oh no.
Okay. Wait. No. Okay. Is Brandy your real name?
No.
Okay.
No.
I literally didn't know that until now.
No.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So it's a secret from your whole family.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah. And my best friend, that I've known since like forever, I just told her recently, like maybe 2 years ago.
That's insane.
Yeah, because it's something that I just don't want it to define me.
For sure.
This is
definitely.
This is like, I feel like this is like a different lifestyle for me that I have lots of fun, you know,
Mm.
traveling with some of like my now friends and
Yeah.
that I considered like my close friends,
Mhm.
that I just don't want it to define me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm ready to be on the level that they are with like
Mm.
how I consider them famous. Like in their eyes, they're like, we're not famous, but in my eyes, it's like, dude, like you have 100K followers,
Mm.
80K followers, like you're up there. Like my friend Jamie Luna, I love her to death. That's the second time I name her. Like, God damn it. Just kidding. Scratch that. Delete it.
Little
We don't like
extra
her.
promo for Jamie Luna.
Well, she's
Oh
just
my
like
God.
such a huge influence, like
Mm.
when it comes to all of this, that I just like have so much respect for her, and you know that I'm like in this type of industry, I consider her like my fucking best friend. So
That's
I'm just
really
like,
awesome.
if I have any questions, I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like I
for
just,
sure.
but yeah, she gets all these deals with like clubs or brands or
Wow.
restaurants that I'm like, yeah, cool. You see me and you see my Instagram, they're like, yeah, you're a nobody, you know, because I'm not there with the following.
Mm.
But of course, once you gain all those followers, it comes with,
Oh yeah.
you know, consequences in a way too, you know, because then
Yeah.
the more followers you get, the more people are viewing your stuff.
Yeah.
Same with like TikTok. I was pushing TikTok for a while,
Mhm.
and then I stopped. Well, one,
Mm.
my stuff was just getting flagged all the time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what, whatever. Two, anybody can just have like your reel or your, you know, your TikTok or whatever.
It's so true.
And I was like, dang, my baby brother is now in the age that he's just like scrolling.
yeah.
And you just never know what his algorithm is.
It's so true.
And I was like, oh man, imagine like his algorithm is like completely like on that side.
yeah, yeah.
And then here I am.
Oh no.
Titty flash.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. Yeah. I was like,
oh my god.
so then I just gave up on TikTok just because I was like, it's just not, I'm not gaining like the following that I wanted to gain and the views and all that stuff. So I was just like, forget it.
Yeah.
So now my mainly is just Instagram. I promote Twitter here and there a little bit.
Okay.
And then yeah, mostly just Playboy. And I've been
Okay.
relying a lot on Playboy just because I feel like it's a lot more just members only.
Yeah.
You
Which is
have to
so
have an account.
nice.
So I'm just like, okay, cool. Like I know my
Yeah.
family will never
Yeah.
ever go on there unless like I mean I don't know anybody that in my family that is like huge Playboy fans. So I'm just like, okay, I'm more safe there.
yeah.
So
yeah.
but yeah, no, my family, yeah, I don't know how they would take it. Maybe my mom would take it a lot better.
Okay.
Like if I sat her down and I was like, hey, I've been doing modeling, like you know how much I like ever since I was a little girl, I loved like fashion show and modeling and all that stuff. So that's why I would feel like she would maybe take it a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then be like, hey, well, you know, this person and I, you know, make content together and it's just us two, you know?
Yeah.
So I think she would still be very surprised and very disappointed, but at the same
Mm.
time, she would respect it. Like she would just be like, okay,
That's
it's your
good.
life.
Yeah.
You're a grown ass woman now. You know what you do, but
Yeah.
just be careful.
Yeah.
But the rest, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. My family recently learned about it a year ago.
Oh, how
yeah.
did they take it? How did they find out?
Girl, it was so different for each of them. I mean, my brother knows. My brother knows like everything.
Yeah.
And my brother has supported me through
Yeah.
life, honestly. Like he's the only one who knows everything I've been through and has just loved me no matter what, which so thankful for
Yeah.
him. Best man in the world. But so my mom found out about Playboy because I was moving apartments and she came to help me. And I had on my whiteboard, because I'm a fan of whiteboards. Actually, I took them down, but usually it's just like color-coded all over the wall, and it's just insanity. But I'll have like my to-do list and everything. And so one of the to-do lists was get Playboy money, because I needed to do my withdrawal.
Yeah.
And
Because you can only do it like once a week. Or
yeah,
every,
and you have to remember, you can't like automatic. I'm always like, fuck,
Yeah.
my money. Like, it's just stuck there.
Yeah,
It sucks like
that's the only
3
thing that
days.
sucks. It just sucks, but
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a little annoying, but whatever. But she had brought her neighbor with her.
Oh,
And my neighbor, I guess, was looking around. I was at my show, and she saw on the list, she was like, "Is Alyssa with Playboy?" Because she saw the Playboy money. And my mom was like, "No, no." And then like later, she was like, "Are you with Playboy?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And then my dad, interestingly enough, somebody, still have no idea who, sent him an anonymous link to my OnlyFans just randomly. And he called me, he was like, "Are you on OnlyFans? Do you do this?" And so with both of them, they were both shocked. But with my family, I had parted ways with them when I was 20. And I hadn't really talked to them for 6 years. So
Okay.
we were at a big impasse. And then when I came back into their life, or they like asked me to come back into their lives, I was like, no way, you know.
Yeah.
There was a time when they were pretty much dead to me
Yeah.
because there was so much that had happened. But they were like, no, we've changed. We've really changed. And they proved to me. They really were there, and they helped me out and proved to me they had changed.
In a way, in that moment in your life, like I feel like they can't come in and now try to control it or say
exactly.
like, no, you can't do this, or how dare you do this, right?
Definitely.
For me, I feel like my family is very involved in my life.
Yeah, it's a huge
that for me to like be just like exit out of.
By the way,
like, oh no, please take me back.
Yeah,
you know, like I would be devastated because for me, yeah, family is everything. Like I love having family dinners. I love I put family priority, whether if it's with, you know, anybody around in my circle, I always put family first. Like
which is great. And it's funny because I think about that because sometimes I'm like, damn, like, you know, I wish all these things hadn't happened between me and my family. But then again, so my mom is very religious and my dad is Asian from China. So they're very strict.
Yeah.
And for so long, I just wanted to make them happy until I realized like I was just killing myself trying.
Yeah.
And I think like if that break had never happened, I would not be who I am today. I was a missionary kid, and I was like valedictorian, play by the rules. I was very shy and awkward, like not who I am at all.
That's so funny.
It's crazy.
But they do say that the people that are the most like controlled are the ones that have become rebellious.
Yeah, because you have all that stuff pent up inside of you.
What if I try this?
Yeah, and it has to get out at some point.
Yeah.
And like in some ways I'm like, whoa, that was a lot. But at the same time, it's like, damn, I did really explode, and at least I built a huge career out of it. Like,
I mean, you do amazing.
Thank you so much.
Like, it's insane.
I would never be that person if, and I would have had so much guilt trying to hide myself that I feel free.
You do. Now you're just like, hey.
And they're like, well, at this point, they're like, we're just happy to have her back in our life.
At the same time, if my family were to find out, I'd rather them find out that I'm with Playboy than with OnlyFans.
That's true.
I just think that Playboy has a name for themselves.
Yeah.
And they're a lot classier. Like, you know, like they're just.
It's true. Like,
I feel like OnlyFans, anybody can be an OnlyFans creator. Yeah. To be a Playboy creator, I think that there's a certain standard, you know. So
you have to be approved.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, if they were to find out, I'm a Playboy creator. Not.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, just so you know, if you come across this little brother.
I have standards, okay? It's not just like an OnlyFans.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, but
it's true.
So, hey, mom find out that you're Playboy, not OnlyFans, so.
Yeah, well, my dad found out about the OnlyFans, which is kind of worse, but he just, I think he's just is like, I'm just going to block it out of my mind at this point.
Yeah.
But it is so true. It was interesting because when I like had so much shame around OnlyFans and the fact that I had an account, and when Playboy had actually DM'd me to join them, and when I did, I didn't even do anything with the account for maybe 1 or 2 years, because I was like already trying to break away from the stigma of being an OnlyFans girl, and then I went to Australia and kind of mentioned like, yeah, I'm a Playboy girl. and everyone was like, what? And they held me in such a high esteem. Like, it actually bumped their respect for me.
Yeah.
And then I started sharing, like, yeah, I'm with Playboy.
Yeah.
And people viewed me like so differently, but so much better.
Definitely.
Which is
kind
of,
it's weird.
It's weird.
But
it's really weird.
I feel like that's what Playboy has done for themselves.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
they
true.
created, you know, that brand that now they're known. I mean, you go to PacSun, teenagers like shop there, and you can find
that's so
Playboy
true.
brand there.
Yeah.
So that's I'm just like, okay, cool. Like at least if you know, it's a higher standard. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm proud. I do feel proud that I'm in that industry with them, and it's fun going to like I went to one of their castings they're looking for the 2025 bunny.
Okay, yeah.
And it was just so fun. It was my first casting for anything related.
Wait, was
to
that
like
at headquarters?
Yes.
I was there.
You were
there?
there?
So many people there.
Yeah.
How long were you there for?
I got there. What time? I don't know. Early in the morning.
Okay. Were you there for 10 hours? Because I was there for 10 hours.
It felt like 10 hours. I got there like early, and I probably didn't leave there until like 7 p.m.
Okay, yeah.
And then it took longer because then they asked me to do like their social media, extra stuff. Like they were like, oh, some like Q&A questions and this or that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, how cool.
Yeah, like of course.
I go in and I feel very like confident about myself. And I'm like, I look hot. Like I'm wearing, I wear like a cropped, kind of like a shirt very similar to yours. Mm-hmm. And then with like leather pants and my heels. Yeah. I have my hair straight. And I was just like, I look bomb. I look like I already belong in this place. And then I walk in, and of course you see like all shapes and forms, right?
And it's like a lot of girls.
Yes. And as a woman, you compare yourself. You're just like, okay, this one, okay, cool. Like, and then you see some girls that are just dead gorgeous that you're just like, nope, they're in. Yeah. What am I, a 0 compared to them? You just start comparing. So then when they, when I heard them, they were like, oh, we would like for you to do social media for us, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, you didn't pick her? Okay, I'm in. Like it was like such a like boost of like, okay, maybe I'm not a bunny like for 2025, but you picked me over her. Yeah. And I mean, it could be like personality or background. I have no clue how they pick their people, but then I was just like, hey, I did it.
I mean, that's something that I really do love about Playboy, especially with like the management that they currently have. The team is so lovely. And I really think they do a good job. Like, did you see the girls they selected?
Well, I saw on their Instagram. After the fact, but I feel like they selected a lot of people more in like Texas area, Florida area. Like I didn't really recognize anyone from LA.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So I was like, because I know that they had like a Vegas casting, Arizona casting. So I was just like, okay. There was so many castings that of course they have to like
so many, and only picking 12.
Yeah, like that's insane.
But I think they did. I really love, because what Hugh Hefner created is he was very big on it's the natural girl, the innocent looking girl, like, and it's kind of in a world, especially living in LA and Miami, big cities, in a world that is becoming so about plastic surgery, fixing yourself, and not. I'm all for girls who do plastic surgery.
Absolutely.
Nothing against it. I think do what makes you feel good. But for being a natural girl, it is really nice to see there's still value in that, because
because it becomes a little intimidating for like myself. Like I'm nothing on me. It's fake. Like I don't have Botox or lip fillers or butt boobs. Like nothing.
All real.
All real. And it is a little intimidating when you go into full of settings where they do have the fake butt or the boobs or the lip or the Botox. You're like, damn, like she looks amazing. It's like, damn, should I fix my nose? Should I like need to like fit in, or do you think that that's how they're gonna select me? But then I always have to tell myself, like, there's always gonna be an audience for that, and there's
Yeah.
always going to be an audience for like people liking the more natural, the more like
yeah, definitely.
who would you come home to, you know? So I'm just
Yeah.
like just providing that type of content out there of like, if you're
It's
looking
true.
for the natural,
Yeah.
you can come find me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, yeah, there's
Oh, sorry. Sometimes it's a little. I need to get a new one. You know,
I was like, I just
My-
broke
my
your
bad.
table.
No,
Okay,
that happens all the time.
I'm
You're not the
to
first.
myself.
Oh my gosh, it's all good.
Oh my heart dropped a little bit. I was like,
Right?
I'm not that strong.
Surprise. Yeah, I think that's something that I really do love about the Playboy
Yeah.
culture is they did really good at like getting a fairly diverse cast. Like I saw there was one Asian girl in there, which I was like, let's go, you
Yeah.
know.
But she's dead gorgeous.
She was stunning.
Still, I see her and I'm like,
She's
God
stunning.
damn! Like
Yeah.
I can't see myself
Yeah.
there. Like I'm just like, yeah, no.
It's you know, it's great.
But
you
yeah,
know,
it's great.
they keep it's a really lovely image that they keep, and especially in a world that does value so much. I don't know if the other girls have plastic surgery or not, but if they do, it's done very naturally.
Natural, yeah.
And it's nice to see that still.
I've seen too their Instagram. They focus a lot more on even their photography. It's not very photoshopped.
Yeah.
Like you'll see girls with like the hangover, like the fat on their side a little, like not like bad, but
Yeah.
like you know,
It's like real.
It's real.
That's a real body.
Yeah, you'll see like a lot
It's a
of
real
people that
photo.
try to like Photoshop that because it's not perfect or just, you know, and they just post that. They put it out there. So it's like, cool.
It is nice. It is like Playboy does kind of, and again, nothing against the plastic surgery. Do what makes you feel good.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, it is intimidating for those of us who have chosen to stay natural. And then you start to wonder, is that like, should I be?
But I think it's LA too.
True.
Just
True.
where we live, it's very that's all
very
you
saturated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to a restaurant and count how many people
Yeah,
are
it's
done up
everywhere.
like that, and it's like okay.
Yeah.
But if you go more to the countryside, there's a lot of beautiful natural people
That's true
that
too.
don't even wear makeup, and
Yeah.
you're like,
and they're stunning.
damn,
Yeah.
like you know. So it's like I feel like it's just depends on that, like where you grew up, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said, you go to like countryside, you know, and it's a little bit more natural and
That's
it's
true.
beautiful,
You know, it's so funny when I travel, I always have a bit of a culture shock because like I went to Syracuse, New York once, not New York City, Syracuse. And I remember going to get some food and just being like so shocked because I'm so used to being around performers and models and stuff and just seeing everyone was overweight and like, you know, here we're talking about plastic surgery and then there's natural people and then you have people who like actually don't take care of themselves. You know, they don't watch what they eat, they don't work out, they don't do anything, which, you know, I'm all about like living what you think your best life is, and that's different for everyone, but I do think your body is a temple.
Absolutely.
And you should be taking care of yourself.
You know, something that I loved when I went to Paris, when you go to a club, I don't care if you bought a ticket. Well, actually, I don't even think you can buy a ticket online. It's like you have to show up and buy your ticket there. But they only select people that they fit what they're looking for their club.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you better have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, plan F.
Oh my gosh.
Just in case you don't get to this one.
Yeah.
Because if you're not wearing brand names or if you don't look a certain way. And I'm not saying that like you have to be skinny or you have to look this way, because like we went to the club, there was like a 40, 50-year-old lady there. I mean, she looks stunning. I mean, she was Chanel dress from top to bottom, but you know, of course she's a lot older than what you would expect to go to a club, but she got in. Other people that were in line, they were like,
wow. Yeah.
So it's like, it's interesting that a lot of different countries work differently.
Oh, very differently.
They select of like, hey, you can only come in if you look like this, or you don't fit our vibe. Sorry, next time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Here in LA, I feel like they could never, ever get away with doing something like that.
Never, yeah.
And
yeah.
as much as I love and hate it, because let's say if you did want to go in and you're like, God damn it, like really, why not? You know?
Yeah.
But I feel like it sets such a vibe and such a exclusivity to that club that it's like, hey, if you want to show up, then you better look like this, or you better, you know, act like this, or, you know. So I was just like, definitely interesting. I wish we had that out here.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of like the interesting thing is, I think when it comes down to like things you can't change, like age, race, height, like these are things where it's like, if you're discriminating against that, that's a problem.
It's different, yeah.
But if it's things like, you know, I mean, designer clothes, not everyone can afford that. But at least like the one cool thing is it gives you incentive to work hard, you know?
I don't know. Like, and I don't know if it was just brand names, but it was, you just had to look a certain way when it came to like
vibe,
like the stylish, the vibe. Like you couldn't just look like, you couldn't go in with just like, in LA, go to a club and you wear your sneakers, sandals, jeans, and your sweater, and you're in. Like no dress code. There, no, that's not acceptable.
Yeah,
that's what I mean about like fitting the vibe.
Yeah, which is cool because you kind of force like an elevation.
Yeah,
like you know, and I think that's good. Yeah. Like take care of yourself. You don't have to be a model, but just take care of yourself. Yeah. Which is really important, and it's important to kind of push culture to take care of yourself. You know, be good to yourself. Yeah. I think is a good thing for sure. So how interesting.
Yeah, that was something that it was not a culture shock, but it was really cool to see how like, wow, they get away with like being able to be strict compared to LA. Like
we're very sensitive in LA.
Very, very sensitive.
Have to be very careful.
Yeah. Like
about what you
were to open something like that here and it would get shut down immediately because
definitely
it's just LA, it's just a culture, but it's just how LA is, and you know,
definitely. But
it's interesting. So when you go to different areas, you get to know and see different types of culture and just take it with a grain of salt. You know,
experience new things. Yeah. So okay, let me ask you then. What are your goals for yourself? And also, because your Playboy and your OF is all like hush hush from your family, I mean, these are two different questions, but like, do you like live with the fear of like, what if my family finds out? Really?
No.
That's interesting.
I don't. Yeah.
I would be scared.
No, I don't. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. Like, but I don't. Whatever content I put out, like I put it out because I want to put it out. And
that I feel like that's if you're an OF creator, that's so important.
No, sometimes it does come up, and like we've talked about it of like, okay, like what if like with my manager, you know, and like how to handle it and stuff. And I'm like, okay, maybe, but that's not gonna happen. Like I always keep saying that's not gonna happen. So I'm just like, no, I don't do it with the fear.
Manifest the thought away.
Like I just, and I'm a true believer. Like if you put your like time and your mind on like a certain thing, it will happen because you're putting that energy towards.
I believe
whether
that
it's
too.
a good thing or a bad thing, like you're putting that energy.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just more kind of like, well, if it happens, then I'm like, oh shit, what happened? You know, and roll with the punches and just see how it goes. Like it could go really bad or it can go really
that's true.
What I want for the future, I just think that I want to be very successful and be able to travel, and I love traveling, and I just want to continue exploring the world, whether it is in a different career or continuing with Brandy and Playboy and OnlyFans and creating more content out there wherever I go. Yeah. But I for sure love social media and being able to be like fun and being able for them to see who I am.
Definitely.
I do love creating like blogs and like things like that. But I'm awful at editing.
Oh, editing is hard.
And putting things together. I'm great at recording stuff and just kind of like,
having all
you
the
know, like
content.
I'm out here.
Uh-huh.
But then when it comes to like, I have so many like amazing videos and pictures of France. Is there any video out there? No, because I'm just like, oh, how do I edit this? And, like,
Yeah.
having the transition. I'm like, okay, well, manager, can you do it for me? No, I'm busy, dude. Like, I'm already doing all this stuff for you. Now you want me to edit a video? I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess
For
I
sure.
can.
Well, and
but
that's
it's
the-
like, but something that it's fun. Like,
yeah.
then I tell myself like, oh boy, if I want to create a blog, if I'm going here, I need a drone. I'm like, okay, well, who's gonna control the drone? You?
Oh no!
No.
Oh my god!
Well, hey, can you control the drone for me? You know, like it's
Yeah.
like, but
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like I do want to do a like more blogs of like just life in general.
Yeah, for sure. That
Yeah.
would be awesome. You should.
Yeah. So I think my Instagram, of course, I'm gonna still keep modeling and
For
you know,
sure.
but I do want to grow into that aspect of like transitioning into like the life of Brandy or like what's up with Brandy today or
Yeah,
you know something
yeah.
more fun, not so much of
Definitely.
like work
Yeah.
content, you know, modeling and stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah, I had this conversation with a friend recently, and she's not an OF creator, and she had made a comment about how, like, you know, we're losing like women in the workforce because women are leaving their jobs as nurses to be an OF and lawyers, and so, you know, she was like, we're gonna lose our voice and lose the progress we made because her words, you're doing like a job now where you're not gaining any skills. And I looked at her and I was like, not gaining any skills? The amount of work that goes into being a creator of any sort, but even an OF creator, is so much work.
Yeah.
You are your own business person. You are doing negotiations. You are editing. You're filming. You are like, you're managing, because even if you have a manager or you have a photographer, whatever,
comes with the time management.
yeah,
The hours in a photo shoot just to put anything out there.
100%.
For me, like I'm not only putting photo shoots for my Instagram, but then I have to shoot for Playboy.
Yeah.
And then I have to shoot for OnlyFans because
Yeah.
some of my OnlyFans creators like something different. You know, they don't like so much of like this. You know,
Yeah.
Playboy has a whole different
completely
views, and you know, so it's like you're shooting for 3 different platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
So
lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of managing.
Same with like just being creative.
Yeah.
Because then it gets repetitive.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, what now? What's different?
Yeah,
You're just going to continue
true.
doing this. Like you have to get creative.
Yeah, you're learning sales,
Yeah.
marketing. You're learning the longevity of a business.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is too, a lot of these skills you're learning, it's just, you really can replicate it. Like, you can take what you learn on OF and take a lot of these models and move it to TikTok, and you just change your product, you know? Maybe you're not modeling, you know, like sex related things, but now you're doing brand deals, and it's the same skills that you're learning. And then even like with brand deals, that's things that you could take to a corporation.
Not only that, but I feel like someone that's been in the industry for a really long time, you can help someone just starting.
It's so true.
And guiding them in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know, so what do you call that?
Yeah. It's so
you can
many
be a counselor,
skills.
you know, you can be kind of like a psychologist at that point.
True. You start
you
your own management
you're
company or something.
Mentor.
It's so true.
You're helping someone that rather than going through the hard steps that you went through, now you're making it easier for someone else to succeed.
Yeah.
So
it's
I don't agree with that, but we are very smart and very hardworking, and I've met very hardworking people in this industry.
Definitely. It's so true.
And people are leaving their 9-to-5 job because this is a lot easier. Like
it's maybe not
a lot easier, but when it comes to
freedom.
Time management, like you have freedom because you can probably have like a calendar of like, okay, these days are just content and building stuff and boom, 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 boom. And then the rest of the days, it's like, okay, I'm having fun. This is my time off. Just like any job.
Yeah, that's
part-time or full-time. Like, what do you do on your full-time job or part-time job? Like, what do you do on your days off? What do you do when you're working? You're working, you know? So yeah, this is my working time.
Yeah, it's true. Well, and it's like people don't realize how much work goes on behind the scenes. Like how much you're sitting and editing, you're responding to DMs, you're doing shoots. Shoots take all day sometimes.
One of my really good friends, she's a porn star, and she says that she's on set for at least 10 hours sometimes, between like 6 to 10 hours.
Yeah, that's so a long time.
That's a full-time job right
there. It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's you're not just living the life. No. Like you can, you do have the freedom to like go sit on the beach while you're editing or whatever. But hey,
you gotta put in the work first. You have to put in the work first to be on the beach and be able to like edit.
And it is more fun, I would say. Yeah. You get to do things you enjoy.
True.
But that was a lifestyle choice you made. And if you didn't make that choice, that's on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that was so fast.
Yeah.
Okay, there's one more question I want to ask.
Okay.
Because it is something that I'm very curious about. Do you see yourself like ever having a family? Because you said family is very important to you.
Absolutely. Okay. I do want to have a family.
Would you see like...
I mean, I kind of have a family. Does my cat... Like,
I have a dog, so I can't say no.
Right? Okay.
You know?
No, absolutely. Like, I don't know. I don't think if I ever have children, I don't think that I would hide that from them. Like I would show them like, yeah, like this was back in the day. Like this was your mom. This was how badass she was. Like she was not afraid to be naked, you know?
Yeah.
Like you were born naked, you're gonna die naked. Like
it's just bodies.
It's just the body.
I'm like, guys, we all have bodies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just some of ours look better.
I like been with people that like I literally don't mind getting undressed in front of people, but that's just been me since day one, since even before OnlyFans, you know? I just don't mind like changing in front of people, you know? And some people are just kind of like, oh, don't look at me like, oh, where's your restroom? You know, and I'm just like, girl, I have the same parts that you have. Like,
exactly.
You know, like,
exactly.
But whatever. I know that some people are a little bit more modest and more, you know, but I've never been like just shy in that aspect. I do have like a situationship at the moment.
Okay.
And he respects it and supports it, and he just like encourages it to keep going with it.
That's really awesome.
I mean, he knows people in the industry too, and he has like friends in it, and we're both like, yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, and I just remembered you were saying too, you started OnlyFans because of a relationship.
Because of
so
him.
Interesting.
Yeah,
and
because of him.
Continued on having relationships that they just understood.
Yeah.
And helped
and I
you
think it comes
build
with a beautiful communication. Of course, like in any type of relationship, you have your ups and downs, but my main thing that I know that I have it in this relationship or situationship, then in the last one was that the communication. I know for sure in my last one, I would have never trusted him to go out and hang out with girlfriends or manage any types of accounts. You know, now it's like completely different. Like, go. You know, he's been with people that are like get naked in front of him, and I'm not there, and you know, and it's just like,
oh, how interesting.
Yeah, he runs accounts.
Okay.
And
are you guys open or closed?
I would say that we're closed, but we're very open-minded.
I love that. I really love that a lot.
Yeah. So
okay.
I mean, of course, I'm in the industry, so he's very open of like me going and having fun, just as long as I let him know and I show him.
I see.
My rule, I haven't experienced of like, okay, go do it and then tell me how it was. I feel like I'm more of like, yeah, let's do it, but I want to watch like from a distance.
Oh, interesting.
You know, and then maybe I can join it.
Okay.
Yeah. But
so like threesomes and stuff are not.
No, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
But it's like when I go play on my own, it's very kind of like, okay, like how was that? Let me see, or you know.
Okay. So do you guys do like you do like also you'll have experiences separately and together?
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Yeah. It's mostly me having experiences than him.
Okay. I see.
But yeah.
Okay.
So it's it's a close relationship. Like it's just us two, and like whatever goes on, like
no multiple boyfriends.
No. It's not like an open relationship where like you have your like situationship and then I have my own thing.
I see.
It's like this is us.
Yeah.
And we see it as like any other person. It's a toy that we pick up and a toy that we put in like back to the drawer, you know? Like we only open it up whenever we want to like to add some spice in it.
I see.
You know?
Yeah. Well, and that's cool too, because I always wonder, I've seen a lot of different couples who have done a lot of different things, and I've seen some that have gone really badly, you know? But I think you really hit it on the head with any relationship, open or closed, communication.
Communication is the biggest thing. We've met up with people that just to meet up and talk to them and like how do they feel, like what are their interests and the
communicating
lifestyle
with your other people too that you bring
we've been into like a swingers party and stuff like that. But it's different. It's fun. Like I think it's really fun, even if you just go just to watch. It's really cool and interesting.
Yeah, that's so cool.
But yeah, it just adds a little spice to the relationship.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's neat because I've seen a lot of like very unhealthy open couples, but I believe I've seen you in your situationship before, and I've always admired. I've always admired the dynamic.
Yeah,
because I feel like you can tell you guys have. There's just like a communication and understanding and a trust too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely a trust. Yeah. But it like I think like the trust is like given, you know, like you give it to that person. Of course, once that trust is lost, then it's lost, right? Like it's hard, you know. But when you have something so good going on, like why would you lose that trust? Like, if you know that we can play all together, why go cheat? You know, we're both, and I think this conversation started with like, what were our fantasies? Like it was one of the we were just sitting down and we're like, well, what are your fantasies? And I was like, well, these are mine. No way, like these are yours? Like what? Like, and they were like, we should try it, you know? And, and we started slowly that way. And they were just like, okay, cool. Like, what's next, you know? But of course we have like our safe words, and like we like before going into any situation, we always like, hey, what do you think? You know, and I have never felt peer pressure to do anything that I never wanted to, and same goes with him. It's just been kind of like, all right, like there's this opportunity. Do you want to take it? No. Do you feel like it? No. Okay, cool. Next. Time.
And is there always that easy, like if one of you are like, I'm like, not just with not doing things, but if like one of the person wants to do something and the other's like, I don't want you to do that.
We respect that.
I feel like that's probably like the important thing of just knowing too that your feelings are acknowledged and valued and placed priority.
Absolutely. And that was one of my biggest things too. And it was never of like, oh my gosh, she's gonna leave me for this person. It was more like, okay, knowing that at the end of the day he's gonna respect me and like what I want.
That's important.
And like I mean, so far so far it has been like, okay, like if you don't want to, we don't have to. There's even been talks of like, let's just not do it at all anymore, you know, and just focus on us and see where we can, you know, grow and and we've been like, okay, no more. But then we're like, oh, you know, it would be fun, you know, and we just like tease each other that way, and it's like it becomes like different in bed, and it becomes more exciting in bed too. I know that maybe it's not for everybody, right?
For sure,
but for us, it works out.
It
just adds a little, like it's just a little spice in a relationship. It's a toy. It's literally that's how I explain it with people. It's just a toy. Whenever you want to use your vibrator, what do you do? You open your drawer. You're like, all right, I'm playing with you today. You know, like that's how it is for us too. We're like, all right, which toy do we want?
Well, and it's interesting too how you said like with your partner now, you know, you can do it, but with your partner before you wouldn't. And that's the interesting thing too.
And with my last partner, we even tried doing like an open relationship, like an actual open relationship, where I was like, I didn't even know what I was walking into, but I was like, of course, whatever makes you happy, right? And I went in not mentally prepared, or me not being knowledgeable of the lifestyle or anything about it. So I was just kind of like, whatever makes you happy, right? So then I like was like, okay, well then I guess I'll go talk to whoever I want to talk to. And when it came down
Okay.
to him doing it, of
Yeah.
course, like I had so much anxiety, and I was just like, what's gonna
Yeah.
happen? But it like whatever had to happen happened, right? But
Mhm.
then when it came to my end of me like meeting even a guy at the bar for some drinks, it was like, no, how dare you? Like it became like
Oh.
it like very one-sided that then
Oh. That's not an
arguments
open relationship.
no, then
That
arguments started to
is,
happen, and it just went
yeah.
like just downhill really, really quick. So it was
Yeah.
just like, was it really an open relationship? No.
No, that's a very unfair situation.
Yeah.
Very selfish situation.
Very, very selfish. So I'm just like, okay, so this time around, experience what I experienced before.
Yeah.
I already was like, okay, well, I don't want this. Like,
Yeah.
I do not want an open relationship. We either like together or we're not.
Yeah.
You know, we can have a one night stand and like deuces, it was nice knowing you, right? Or we can just like be with each other and like be committed or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Yeah.
Right now he's like my go-to buddy for sure. And it's a good thing because like
Yeah.
he's so close to me, and like I trust him with my life that
yeah. Which is what it should be in any relationship, really. Like situationship, marriage, like
boyfriend,
whatever. Like that's how it should be. Like
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, let's open it up and get some questions from our male production team.
Sure. So I had a question. Between all the different kind of platforms that you've worked with, do you feel like there's a kind of a level of safety when you're working with like just like doing like a straight up like maybe an adult shoot compared to like what you're doing now with Playboy, which is kind of like at the top? Do you think there's been like a different level of just like safety with the whole production experience?
Well, I've never been in a situation where I had to like do big production stuff. It's only been like if I'm doing like a content with one other person, it's usually like on phone, and it's literally like us two in one room like doing content. So I've never had to experience like the whole production. I'm not opposed to it because I would like to like see what it would be like, and just kind of like, especially more for like OF audience for sure. Because Playboy has to just be me when I put content out. We've joked about it with one of my good friends of like, oh, I'll hire you as my little buffer, you know, of like be my cameraman, or like if I need water, I need you to like fan me down or something. But yeah, I've never done like big production scenes to where I can like put my 2 cents in it of like how would I feel when it comes to creating content.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I know you said that your family doesn't really know about your Playboy stuff. But you said you want to have a family of your own. Have you ever thought about, like, let's say you're older, you have a daughter. What if she was like doing content that you didn't know about, or do you think that you would want to like have a relationship where she would be comfortable enough to tell you that you did? Or have you ever had those kind of
That's a
thoughts?
good
That
question.
is a good question. He comes up with good questions.
I don't know how I would handle that. I mean, do I want her to do that? Obviously not. But how can I say no when I've been there, done that type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I know that even if I put myself as like, okay, like my younger self, like, and doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to, like, I growing up, I didn't have that like real communication with my mom, so I feel like I wasn't able to talk to her. So I know that, knowing from past experiences of my childhood, I know that like, okay, if I ever am a mom, I would like to like them knowing that, hey, no matter what, you can come and talk to me.
Yeah.
I might be the girl recording, you know, I mean the mom recording you, you know, I don't know, probably not, but I just want them to know that no matter what, like I'll be supporting them.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
maybe guide them in a different direction. Like if they did want to become some type of content creator, I'm like, okay, well, what are you interested in? You know, you want to be like more into the fashion, or you want to do this, you know, maybe not guide them too much into like the making content that way, but okay, like you want to be on social media like that, okay, let's put you out there in maybe this other way, you know.
Definitely.
Just show them that you don't have to be naked or doing porn scenes to get the views, the following.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure. Yeah, I think piggybacking off of that, like just thinking about like a big reason I started was because I felt like I didn't like have many other options to at least pursue my dream, because I wanted to be a
Yeah.
performer, which is it's hard to be a
It's-
performer,
Yeah.
and then to have work when you're starting out where you
Yeah.
can have a schedule that works around having performance jobs is really difficult.
Yeah.
And so like I know for me, not having my family, I mean, a big reason we separated was because I wanted a career as a performer and they said no. So it was like, well, then you're out. Like, if you're going to pursue that, get
Yeah.
out of the house right now. So I
Yeah.
left.
See, and when I met you, because I've seen, I mean, you do videos of on the pole. I'm like, oh, you're a stripper. And you're like, wait, no, I am not a
Yeah.
stripper. I was like, no way. Because like, I just assumed, and that was
Yeah.
my fault for just assuming, right? But then like, as I got to know like you more and your
Mhm.
social media, then I was like, holy shit, like she is a whole ass freaking performer,
Yeah,
you
thank
know?
you. Yeah.
And not just like do pole stuff, but do the
Mhm.
freaking ring and fire.
Yeah.
By the way, I did show my brother your video.
Oh my
I
gosh.
think it was one of the fire videos. Like, I
Uh-huh.
think and we always talk about you because I was,
Oh,
she's
what?
always like, oh yeah, your friend with that does fire stuff. Like, I know, she's fucking crazy. Because I
Yeah,
think
I
you
get
did
that.
something like on the balcony. You did
Uh-huh.
something with like the fire in your leg or something.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I don't know how that doesn't fucking like hurt, or like when you like
Oh,
swallow
girl,
it,
my
or
pain
I don't
tolerance
even
is
know
so
what you
high.
did. I'm just like, yeah, I could never.
Oh my
Yeah, so
gosh.
I did show her because I
Uh-huh.
always blame it on like, oh well, my manager knows so many people. Like he showed me like he's like, oh yeah, blah, 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 and I was like, yeah, that's how I know these people.
Yeah.
I always blame it on my
Oh,
manager.
funny. That's
yeah,
smart. That's so smart.
because then they'll be like, oh, where are you guys going?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? So I'm like, oh,
Oh
my
my
manager,
gosh.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
so smart.
they don't know him as my manager. They know him as my friend, my family.
There you go.
So yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
always-
'Cause, yeah.
yeah, they don't know the business, but yeah. So I always
How
they know
funny.
him, yeah, as my friend, and they have met him.
Mm.
So yeah, I just like say, oh, like he was the one that showed me this. Oh, we
Oh,
hung
how
out. He knows this
funny.
club, or he knows his friends. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought I blame it on him all the time.
Oh
But
my
he's
gosh.
used to it.
There you go. You know?
Yeah, he's used to it.
Oh my gosh.
But no, yeah, and I think it goes back to the mentor part.
Mm.
So, you know,
Yeah.
and
That's true.
yeah,
It's,
like if I have a daughter and she wants to go into this, it's mentoring her.
yeah.
You didn't have that back then of mentoring.
Yeah.
That I'm pretty sure like you would pass it down. So
Yeah.
it's all a big circle.
It is. It
Yeah.
really is. And that's why now girls will come to me and they'll ask me for help in performing,
Yeah.
or they'll ask for help with like Playboy or OF.
Yeah.
And I make it a really big goal. Like, because even like if you subscribe to my stuff, it's very mellow. It's very tame.
Yeah, because I was
It's-
surprised when I was
yeah.
like, "Wait, you don't do
It's-
nothing live?"
I don't.
You're like, "No,
I
I just
don't.
sit there
Even
and
in
talk."
the DMs, like I'm just like, I'm like, what's up, guys? Want to tip me? Here's a split, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm all clothed
Yeah.
too. Like,
No,
but
but it works out for you.
it works. Yeah, I make money still.
Everybody
like,
has their own little thing.
yeah, you have a thing, you have
Yeah.
a niche,
Yeah.
and that's why too. It's a it's a system that you can replicate.
Yeah.
And put into whatever social media platform and use the skills for anything.
Yeah.
And so that's why too, like when I have girls that come to me asking for advice, I'm so big on mentoring them.
Yeah.
Because I was pushed multiple times to do things that I was like,
You were
that did not feel good.
Yeah.
That I did not like that. There's some things out there of me that is out there for me
Yeah.
that I can never get back. And it's not just like, it was like, oh, I felt bad doing that. It was like, there were situations where I was like taken advantage of
Yeah.
by people stronger than me, you
Yeah.
know? And so I'm a big advocate of like, let me show you how you can do this. And I'm going to show you how you can, because you can do OF or Playboy
Yeah.
in a way where you're you can never get naked and still make money.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen it.
It's
And
so
you're
possible.
one of the examples.
Thank you. Thank you.
Truly.
I
So I'm
appreciate
like,
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm obviously very comfortable with my body, but
Yeah.
but I don't do sex. You know, I don't do self play or anything. You know,
Yeah.
I keep it very mellow. And so I teach this formula of, you know, this is how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to do more, look, do what you want. I support you fully, but like I'm just going to give you the framework so that you enter it in a safe way that feels good for you.
Yeah.
And then take it as far as you want. And like, you know, and I think, you know, I'm very passionate about that because I didn't have that. And I think as a mom, if I had a daughter that wanted to do it, I think my first thing would be like, what is it that you want to do and how can I support you with your dream? Because most people don't dream of being an OF girl. They
see it as like, oh, this is
quick,
going to
easy
give
cash.
me the fastest money, like the fastest turnaround. So I'm just like, okay, cool, we'll do this, you know.
Yeah.
I have
Most people now don't dream of being an OF girl.
True.
There's a new generation that sees influencers and OnlyFans girls on Instagram and stuff. That becomes their dream. What do you think of
the
new
influencer.
generation? What would you tell them? The new generation that's coming in and wanting to be an OF girl and travel the world and just.
That's true. Some people.
What would I tell them? I don't know. Yeah, why not? If they want to do it. I mean, if anybody wants to do it, they can do it, you know?
In the context of it being your daughter, I'm curious to know.
Context of being like...
For example, what if she, like, I don't know your financial situation, but let's say you don't see her as someone who's in a financial situation where she has to do that. So she's almost like
she wants
to.
Down.
Yeah.
Or would you say, look, if you want to do modeling or do something higher?
I would probably gear her towards like not doing this type of content for sure. I would probably try to guide her more into like a different type of like influencer and like
do TikTok. Be a TikToker.
Be a TikToker. Be a dancer. Be whatever, you know, like you know, like you want to be a performer. Okay, like these are all the ways that you can be a performer.
Yeah, and there's so many ways,
you know. So even as like a pole dancer instructor, you know, like I know people that they're pole dancer instructors and they do amazing and they don't strip. They just have a passion for it.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
That's something that I do want to do sometime in 2025. I am working into becoming a little bit more flexible.
Okay.
And I do want to be able to at least know how to like work the pole. Not that I want to work at a strip club, but I was going to.
Okay.
I was thinking of being a bartender at a strip club because I was like, hey, good money. I love the lifestyle. I think it's fun. And,
definitely.
You know, and, but then just X, Y, and Z happened. But I was like, I want to be able to get up on this thing and just spin and do fun tricks.
It's a sport.
I want to be able to do like a handstand and do the splits and you know. So that is my
girl. You should. You gotta. Fuck yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So if you have any tips and
Hell
tricks,
yeah,
ideas, please send them my way because I've been trying. The way that I know, I'm just like, okay, maybe I need to stretch this way, and I'm like, okay,
come watch my Playboy lives. I'm on there stretching all the time.
I know. I've seen it. Or sometimes I'm like, hey, what's up, girl? Hey, you're not even reading your comments. You're like on the pole, twisting and turning.
Like, I missed a bunch. Like,
by that time, I'm just like, all right, well, I gotta go do my own thing now.
It's bad.
But that's something that I'm interested in. So I would just, you know, anybody like
just try to read
again, mentoring them on really focusing on like, okay, what do you really want to accomplish?
Yeah,
like,
is this what you actually want?
Yes.
And there was a time when I think during quarantine when being an OF girl was really glorified because it really popped off and it was like you were making crazy money, you were traveling, you were having sex for a living. But I mean, like I think too, like as a mom, I would first be like, you know, if this is what you really want to do, okay, you know, let's do it safe.
But if you're doing it for the views too, I feel like you can do a lot more things for the views.
Yeah,
it's just the consistency and keeping it like there.
It's
you
the
know?
same formula. You can take it and you can do it on TikTok,
Yeah.
and you can make just as much money.
Yeah.
You can make more money and eventually get like movie deals, brand deals.
Brand deals.
you know?
I've seen,
Yeah.
makeup. One of my favorite people that I watch on YouTube, like she
Mm.
started as a YouTube just makeup artist, just because that was her passion.
Yeah.
That was her hobby, just
it's so
doing makeup.
possible.
And now she has huge brand deals to
Yeah.
where now she has her own sunglasses collection and her own skincare collection,
Wow.
but she started with a passion of makeup,
Yeah.
and she was doing it because she loved it, and now she's this huge influencer.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
my thing, it's like, okay, what are your passions? What
Yeah.
do you want to do?
And do what you love
and do that.
ultimately.
Yeah,
So I mean, a lot of people love having sex, but
I
you
do.
can still have sex and you don't have to
I
sell it
do.
too. But
I probably, if it's just like I need it a couple of times a week, because I'm just like,
oh my gosh, I'm dead.
I'm just like, man, if I go too long, I'm just like,
I mean, look, it's
okay.
a human need. Ultimately,
Yeah.
like strippers,
Yeah.
prostitutes, OF girls, porn, they are, I believe, and I don't believe, I know, they're an essential
Yeah.
need for society, because you do get pent up. You don't always have someone to have sex with. And I think that release keeps people from being bad people sometimes.
Yeah.
So, it is an important, an essential thing
Yeah.
society needs. Like porn stars are
It's
important.
How are babies created?
Yeah.
Literally. You need
Actually,
sex to have a baby.
It's true.
So
truly. To
whether
keep
you're
society going.
religious,
Yeah.
whether you believe in, I don't know, in the alien,
Oh my
you
gosh.
gotta have sex.
It's true. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, let's end with one more question.
I was going to ask, do you ever get inspired by other performers when you're looking for different creative things?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When it comes to even photography or anything,
Yeah.
even videos,
Yeah.
like homemade videos or anything, constantly. Like right now, my thing is, I want to do a photo shoot with ropes and what is it called?
Shibari?
Shibari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you should.
I recently went to a show and saw
Mm.
it in person, and I was just amazed of how it's literally an art.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just the way she did it to herself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was a whole
That's impressive.
performance. It was insane that I was just like, wow. And I've seen some photographers that are very, very well knowledgeable in this.
Mm.
And I'm just like, wow, do me. I'm I just see it, and it's just so beautiful. And more of the detail shots,
Yeah.
that I'm like, okay, yeah,
Definitely.
I would love, love. Yeah, but it's constantly just growing in a different way, and just seeing new adventures, new creativity, and just seeing what can I do, what can I explore.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's helped you grow as a creative person?
Absolutely, yeah. With anything, like I said before, when I walk in, I want to create my own podcast. Damn, I can't getting to that point where I've talked too much. I'm like,
Girl, you're telling me.
but yeah, now I started my own little podcast where it's giving the girls that do porn, the girls that are more focused in this type of lifestyle, of them expressing of okay, who are you as a real person?
Yeah,
not just as this platform, this influencer, just more of who are you, and having their followers see her in a completely different way.
Yeah. Yeah. As a real person.
So that's where my next little project is. But yeah, it's going into social media and always scrolling, always trying to see what's new, what's popping right now, and where can I fit in, or what can I grab and change it a little bit and make it my own. So
I love that.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, on that note,
Maybe you'll see her next on my
Ooh,
podcast.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
Seriously, that'd be
Just
great.
let me know, because you're
Okay.
so busy. But yeah. add me.
Samantha says that too. That's why she stopped inviting me to the shoots for a while. And I told her, I was like, look, I am busy, but like I'm busy of my own free will. So like I make time for the things I want.
Yeah,
so like if you never
nice.
ask me,
Then I'm
I'll
like,
never come because I won't know and I won't schedule it. But if you ask me, I'll schedule it and I will be there.
Yeah. No,
I just like
definitely.
I have to be busy.
Yeah.
I tell people like if I don't do what I do, I would probably be a bad person. Like this is how I stay sane. Well, that's more like in terms of being an aerialist and lighting myself on fire.
Yeah.
Keeps me from being crazy.
But
you
it's
know?
cool. It's freaking. Trust me.
Yeah,
You've touched people that you don't even know that you would ever touch. So I'm like, yeah.
I really think I'm just like a Harley Quinn and I'm just kind of trapped and tortured. So I just light myself on fire to let the crazy out. And then, you know, you meet me and I'm like, hi guys.
Yeah, you're
I'm
super
just
sweet.
Melissa.
Yeah.
But I have to go on stage and be like fucking insane. And then I'm like, okay, now I can be normal.
Yeah.
Now I'm tired out. And now, you know, that's why you never see me partying.
But I met you, like this.
Yeah.
I met her just like this. And then when I went to your Instagram, then I'm like,
yeah.
Holy shit. Like
you haven't seen me perform live yet
and
either.
I haven't. I've been wanting to, but
it's a whole different person that comes
completely
out.
Different. And
Yeah.
But I love performance like this. Like the Shibari, like we went and I was just like, wow, it's amazing. Anything artistic, I'm
wild.
in. Count me in.
Yeah, I have an alter ego. So right before I perform every time, it's not even conscious anymore, but I click and you see it in my eyes. It's actually kind of fucking weird because I know too my thought process is very different with her. And after the trauma of my divorce, she took over and it took me a long time to come back to myself.
Wow.
It's really crazy. I won't dive into too much because we're at the end. But when I go to perform, I click into her. And if you do lock eyes with me while I'm performing, you can see it's a whole different person.
That is so cool.
It's
all right.
fucking weird.
I can't make it tonight, but the next one I will be there.
Yeah.
True, because I am interested. I'm intrigued.
It's crazy.
Now I want to see this in person.
It's really fucking insane. Like anybody, I remember I met a man at a show and he saw me and he was like, hey, what's up? I'm one of the sponsors. And I was like, hi, how's it going? I was like, okay, I'm going to go do my show. And it came out and I was just like, bah, bah, bah. And I came back and he was like, holy shit, you're like a fucking like just sex demon animal beast out there, which I never would have guessed 2 seconds ago. And it's like, I know, man. Try living up here. It's fucking weird. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like,
that is cool.
Trauma.
That is really cool.
Trauma will do that.
Oh my gosh, maybe. Yeah. But I think it's more of like that's how you just separate and you do an amazing show.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
know?
I'm thankful for my trauma because it's made me a force, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's on that note.
You just guys have to go see her. See
and
the
go
show.
check out her podcast.
When it comes out, it hasn't come out. But it is called Naked with Brandy.
There you go. So be on the lookout. By the time this episode publishes.
It will be released. Yeah.
Great.
So.
And we'll see you next week for another episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.